Hello, friends and colleagues. I am Ina Rozentsvit, neurologist, psychoanalyst, neurodiversity specialist, and neuroscience researcher.
And I'm Jan Almasy, RN and serial entrepreneur, somebody that's been living with ADHD their whole life.
We would like to welcome you to our workshop series, The Adaptive Brain, Leveraging ADHD's Neurobiological, Psychoanalytic, and Personal Vicissitudes, on 2 Sundays, July 27th and August 3rd from 12 to 3:15 Eastern. Why talk about ADHD? ADHD is not merely a disorder to be managed, but a different kind of brain, a neurobiological variation with its own internal logic, strengths, vulnerabilities. A brain wired not for dysfunction, but for adaptation, innovation, and insight. Too often, ADHD across the lifespan is misunderstood, misdiagnosed, or masked. While commonly associated with childhood hyperactivity, millions of adults live with undiagnosed ADHD, frequently presenting with anxiety, depression, emotional somatic dysregulation, impulsivity, executive dysfunction, overthinking, procrastination, avoidance, somatization, or addictive tendencies. These struggles often lead to relational difficulties and emotional burnout from repeated failures to meet social expectations. So, without broader understanding of ADHD's neurobiological and psychosocial dimensions, clinicians may miss the root causes of what they treat, resulting in fragmented or ineffective care. So, during our workshop series, I will be providing a neuroscience and neurobiology background and perspective. Together, we will learn how to apply core brain-mind processes understanding, neurofunctional principles, Eric Kindel's principles of neural functioning, and practical integration.
And my portion, I will be providing insight into the lived experience of growing up with ADHD, although I didn't know that I had it until I was older. I was already in university by the time that I was diagnosed, and how I've learned to not only manage it as an adult, but also leverage the positive aspects while minimizing the struggles that come with it. After being diagnosed at 22, I've spent the last 8 years learning about my brain and my body's unique wiring. Despite constantly being labeled as an underperformer during my school age years, learning the concepts that we'll be discussing during the workshop, I've managed to leverage my ADHD traits to launch businesses, lead teams of innovative people, and build strong relationships with my family, friends, and my fiance.
So, what will we be talking about? During my portion, I will present the functional psychoneurobiology tools designed to help mental health practitioners and those who live with neurodiversity to navigate the brain-mind constellation and make it feel home there. So first, we will talk about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is simply the ability to change, and it can happen on many levels, and it happens on many levels. One of them is expanding and pruning the synapses. Another is building new neurons and supportive brain cells. And the third one is changing the DNA. Another beautiful thing about neuroplasticity is that we can direct it, building new pathways and rewiring as per our design. It is a driver of self-transformation, and it is called self-directed neuroplasticity.
When I learned about self-directed neuroplasticity, it unlocked the entire world for me. Becoming aware that I had control over the future wiring of my brain and the connection between my brain and my body gave me hope. I've always been confident in my ability to work hard, and knowing that if I oriented that quality of hard work towards activities that could physically rewire my mind and body to have a better state of being was really, really inspiring. What started as an uphill battle has now become a hardwired part of my character. And actually, many of my friends point to my discipline and levels of productivity on a daily basis as admirable trait, which I would have never thought possible 8 years ago when I started on this path, and has only been made possible by understanding the why and then practicing things on a daily basis in order to push myself.
Thank you, Jan. So the next thing that we will be talking about is the triune brain. The triune brain modeled by Paul MacLean was revolutionary. It is based on the nervous system evolution from the ectoderm to neural tube to three functional layers, all happening in our mom's wombs. So the first functional layer is a lizard brain. The second is the old mammalian brain. And the third is a human brain. So the first two develop pretty well while we are still in our mom's wombs. But the third is going on the transformation through the whole life. I explain these layers as being the floors of one's brain-mind house, what I call. So the first floor is functionally designed to protect us from threats and based on processing fear. The second floor is about our emotions and memories. And the third floor is the logical decision maker, also an analyzer and synthesizer. All floors are important. The main thing is to master all of them and not to get stuck on one of them, going back and forth from the first to the second to the third, and then again and again. If we master inhabiting only one floor, what happens with other floors? They shrink as per neurobiological phenomenon, don't use it, lose it. We know this phenomenon too well when we talk about aging brains and Alzheimer, but it works the same way with the younger brains.
And from my perspective, when I first heard about this concept and I first actually started linking it to my life experience, in my late teenage years and early 20s, I realized that I had often felt stuck on the first floor. I was constantly making decisions out of fear, often waiting to the very last minute and relying on the anxiety or the pressure of a situation in order to make a decision. And when I first listened to Dr. Ina explain the wholeness of the concept, I realized that the goal was actually be flexible between the floors, like she just mentioned, and that I actually had the capacity to make each floor of the house my own the entire time. I had just not actually practiced moving between them. It was possible to make logical, emotional, and quick reaction instinctual decisions based on whichever the situation called for. That became extremely useful as I navigated career paths from nursing in the military to now as the head of growth for a global company. I utilize all three floors on a daily basis. That's not to say that it's not still a struggle. And I do really have to stay aware of when I unintentionally lock myself on a floor. But the benefit is now that I'm aware of it, I have a set of keys that I'm able to use to unlock the door to the room that I've trapped myself in and find the staircase again so that I can navigate the floors of the house.
Thank you, Jan. This is beautiful. When you see that somebody can use it and very effectively, it's really, this is what we work for, we live for. So another concept is a triune brain plus that we will be talking about. It is a new concept and it's based on natural connections of the functional triune brain with one's body's autonomic nervous system. It provides for understanding of the brain mind-body connection, also the concept of interoception and mindfulness, among others.
And like I was just mentioning, I spent a major period of my life actually grappling with, and I mean, to use a strong word, hating my body and frustrated with its need for movement or stimulation, especially during wildly inopportune moments. And to me, this triune brain plus concept explains the why behind the how I developed an appreciation and gratitude for my internal smoke alarms, as I call them now, rather than getting frustrated when my body would get anxious or it would have a desire for movement. By engaging in practices that we'll discuss while we're in the workshop itself, to me, especially my daily gratitude practice, which I can explain more, I've learned that it's okay and actually beneficial to trust my body rather than fight against it. And it's helped me develop different techniques to foster and strengthen that connection over time.
Thank you. So whether you're a therapist, social worker, school counselor, psychoanalyst, you're likely already treating clients with undiagnosed or misdiagnosed ADHD. Understanding the neurobiology of ADHD and how it intersects with trauma, executive dysfunction, and emotional dysregulation is critical to delivering effective care. And it's not all about medications. This workshop offers a pathway beyond symptom management and towards the whole person, transdisciplinary model of healing and prevention, one that honors difference, builds resilience, and fosters transformative change. So please join us for this journey. Thank you for listening.
We hope to see you there.